everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. This is Madden 18 on EA Sports. It's hard to imagine this not being a fun game to watch. It's the Cowboys going up against the Cardinals. For the call, let's send you out to the broadcast booth, where we'll join our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Larry. It hosted Super Bowls 42 and 49. And it's University of Phoenix Stadium. That's where we're at in Glendale, Arizona. It's certainly hot outside here in the desert, but somehow this Cardinal crowd turned up the heat a moment ago. They were in a frenzy as their team emerged from the tunnel. And the Cardinals, they're set to do battle with the Dallas Cowboys. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Cardinal team as they get ready here. It's an early test here after 2 losses to start the season, and a game they probably really need.
Obviously, no way do they want to get to 0-3. Not many teams make the playoffs with that kind of a start.
Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Cowboys, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Here comes Ryan Switzer to return it. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. So here are the Cowboys now ready to go on offense for the first time. Their second-year QB leading them. It's the NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Year for 2017, Dak Prescott.
We're not even a quarter way into the season. He's already off to a pretty nice start. NFC Offensive Player of the Week in last week's game.
Yeah, week 2, he was electric. See what week 3 has in store. So the D-line's going to spread out. Prescott looks to throw on first. And his first look is incomplete. The man with over 1,000 catches, Jason Witten, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down. And the offensive starters for Dallas.
The trademark of the Cowboys offense is balance. They start with the running game, the number 2 running team in the NFL in 2016. And while the number 23 passing number may give some cause for alarm, don't look at it that way. They run the ball so well and so effectively that when they do decide to throw the football, it often results in big plays downfield.
Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. The Cowboys' all-time receptions leader, Jason Witten, the intended target. And it's 3rd down. And here is the Cardinal defense.
With the Cardinals, you get a package of pressure, and that's on any down, any distance. They always want more people near the line of scrimmage, more people attacking the quarterback. And then back behind that, they have a lot of different looks in their secondary, and they can't wait to get Tyrann Mathieu back on the field full-time. He's their wild card because they can play him at safety or at corner.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. Prescott from the gun. It's caught on the right side. Williams. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. The numbers for Dak as a rookie last year are still kind of mind-boggling. And you look at QB rating. Dak was 104.9. Now, among full-time quarterbacks, only 2 Super Bowl quarterbacks, Matt Ryan and Tom Brady, were higher.
And look who he finished ahead of. Guys like Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Russell.
Oh, Prescott stripped.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
So after nearly turning it over, new life here for the offense on 2nd down. the gun. Here's Prescott. And his pass incomplete. Cole Beasley, the intended target. And that takes us from second to third down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Third and long for Prescott. Pressure comes, and the Cardinals bring him down. Robert Kimdichie with a big-time sack on third down, and it'll be a loss of 7.
This Cardinals pass rush in 2016 got home 48 times. That's a pretty good number.
A very good number, led the league. Is it just because the dudes that they had, or the scheme, or both, or what?
It's always the dudes first, but their scheme, attacking, pressure, they'll continue to pile up the sacks.
Now the seventh-year man, Chris Jones, on to kick. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. So out come the Cardinals now for their opening drive. The 4th-year man out of Eastern Illinois, Jimmy Garoppolo, leading them out onto the field.
And I saw that he had an interesting quote in the research packet that we had after last week's game. It's all on me now. I've got to lead my team and find a way for us to win a game. 0-2, but they're at home. I guess he's going to try and find a way to get the home crowd involved early.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. No. Check.
They go play action here on 1st down. He'll buy some time right, and he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. A good pick up there of 20 yards. Jimmy Garoppolo, the starter here, finally lured away from the Patriots. What are some things you like about JG?
Well, I love his makeup, meaning obviously he's got some physical ability. He can throw the football, but he's mentally tough as well. And he developed while he was there in New England. They actually trained him to be a starter even though he wasn't getting any type of snaps. And this guy adapts and thrives with the ability to play against pressure.
And the coach has decided to throw the red flag. He will challenge this play.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So 2nd and 10 here.
Leopard! Over!
Looking to throw, Garoppolo. Eluding the pressure right. His throw incomplete. He was in search of the tight end, Troy Nicholas. And it's 3rd down. And let's look now at the offensive starters for the Cardinals.
When you look at the Arizona Cardinals offense through the eyes of a defensive coordinator, you understand why it's so difficult to prepare for them. They can run the ball with excellent proficiency, led by David Johnson, who was a 1,000-yard running back, and a guy can catch the ball out of the backfield very well. Of course, Larry Fitzgerald's one of your elite receivers out wide, and their ability to move the ball around to a plethora of options makes them very difficult to prepare for.
Fighting down past the 45. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
Now Johnson, and able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. And now the defense for Dallas.
The Cowboys' defense is characterized by its cohesiveness. When you look at them position by position, you're not often impressed. But when you play together collectively, as the Cowboys did in 2016, you find a defense that ranked #1 against the run, and were a tough team to solve for everyone who tried to move the ball against them.
Garoppolo on the bootleg. And his throw's going to be incomplete. That one was intended for John Brown. And it'll bring up third down. Now, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
On third down, Johnson. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched him more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
Brad, wasn't that long ago that the guy playing that spot was an outside linebacker type of a guy. Now, as a defensive end, how about the speed that he used to get into the backfield and make the play?
Defense in a good spot. Let's see how the offense responds with a 2nd and 13 now. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. They'll roll him out right. Caught, right side, Gresham. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. Now a play fake here on first down. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Now Garoppolo throwing on 2nd. And he slings one that's incomplete. Jaron Brown, the intended target, and it's 3rd down.
I know every offense wants to start their snaps closer to the goal line, but it's actually harder to throw the ball in those situations. You throw into that tight coverage, you see what happens. Hard to get the ball in there.
Not enough space there. Lucky maybe that it wasn't intercepted.
Here we go now.
Play action. Garoppolo rolling to his left. And he fires one, but incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And, yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. And Aguayo able to knock it through. And the Cardinals have the first points. It's 3-0. And that field goal caps an 11-play drive.
That's a lot of offense to run to only get 3 points, but they'll take them. Anytime you can put anything on the board, you run to your sideline somewhat happy.
This is fielded at the goal line. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The offense for the Cowboys now working their way back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. The numbers for Zeke from last week. There isn't a coach alive who wouldn't like those numbers. Well over 100 yards and a touchdown, too.
Partner, I think all the coaches who are in that great coaching box in the sky would take those numbers.
So dead or alive?
Either way, they would take that kind of production.
And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
Brandon, I've had a lot of college kids ask me, is it really important to play in the postseason? I put it on tape already, and I've always answered to them, depends on how much you put on tape. And Hassan Reddick from Temple, he put more on tape in the postseason at the Senior Bowl, being able to play inside linebacker, outside linebacker, defensive end, blew up huge there, and was the number 13 pick in the entire draft.
The NFL on is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, as it is Cowboy football to begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. Out now comes the Cowboys punter. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And this will be taken at the 13. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that.
Toe
Super tough.
Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Throwing back across his body. Picked off Byron Jones. And he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line. And now here come the Cowboys. And this is their 3rd drive. Maybe the focus right now not so much on points, but getting their first down.
And when you start off a game, you don't even think that's an issue, do you? But you go a drive, a second drive, no first down, that becomes an issue. Now you got to think about, okay, what type of play calling do I have to do to get us in a spot to pick that first one up?
Second down to the offense in search of 6 yards. Here's Prescott. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
They haven't made much of this great starting field position they had. Here's 3rd and 6. Prescott now. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down to about the 21 or 22. Prescott finding his big receiver Bryant there for a Cowboy first down. And on this challenge, the refs have to take a peek and see whether or not the receiver was able to dot the I with both feet.
While making sure that...
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. Prescott on first down. That is caught inside the 5. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal. Prescott yet again. And that is caught. It's Witten for the Cowboy touchdown. Jason Witten, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Cowboys are in for 6. What a great weapon. So often, such a big mismatch.
And there's no route he can't run. You name it, he's going to do it. And he's a matchup nightmare for the defense. No matter who they put on him, he's going to win the battle.
Bailey now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Here comes Jimmy Garoppolo now to lead his offense back out there. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. A little too aggressive defensively, and the flag comes out.
And no one trying to cover is going to like a call going against them, but you have to like the effort there. Went for the interception, just unable to get it, and the flag did come out.
Andre Ellington, his first carry. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
To throw, it's Garoppolo. And his throw here's incomplete. Larry Fitzgerald was the intended target. And now it's 2nd down.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
10 yards still left on 2nd down. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cardinals. Troy Nicholas, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Cardinals are in for 6. They went empty backfield, all their weapons out wide, so there really was no secret here to what they were going to do.
No secret, but they still had to execute it, and they still had to protect the guy throwing the ball because oftentimes when you empty the backfield, people bring pressure at you. They managed to hold in there and successfully complete the touchdown pass.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Ezekiel Elliott gets ready to go again here on offense as he shuffles onto the field. He's just been looking for some space. Yeah, I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Hassan Reddick, the rookie from Temple. And it'll be a 2nd and long.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down. On second down, Elliott. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. Complete to Jason Witten. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
I feel for some of these guys nowadays because it is so tough to be able to run with these tight ends. Their speed, their elusiveness, especially when they run across the field. Because you're not just running with him, you're trying to run through some traffic as well.
A first down throw for Prescott. And some room to maneuver. And he'll be knocked down sideways. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. They keep on the ground with Elliott. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. More from the desert after this. Back now, as I search for my cue card here, there we go. Coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will join us from Orlando. He'll have highlights and analysis from our first half of play.
Well read.
Well, thank you. That's caught by Butler over the middle. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. Great change up there on the route and got that inside release, made it a successful pitch and catch.
Well, the first thing you want to do is have him thinking that you're going outside, make a move in that direction. Then you really don't run the route against the whole body of the defender. You run against a half of him, and the inside half, and he took it right across his face, got inside, and won that route in a big way.
A good first down call as the screenplay gets him 9.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
Prescott now on second down. That's complete right around the 8. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves him with a first and goal.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
They'll throw again. Prescott. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or two. They want him to produce right away.
That's why they took him in the first round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future All-Pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago. Really, it grades out as a pretty darn good class.
So you have to give a lot of credit to the entire scouting organization. General manager, personnel department, college scouts, all came together. They evaluated it very well and got a nice payoff.
This offense so far on third down, they've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is third and goal. Looking to throw. Prescott. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Marcus Golden in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a 4th down. And the Cowboys will call on Dan Bailey here. And Bailey able to knock it through. And that will tie things up as we head toward halftime. And, Charles, they get the field goal. Took them a dozen plays, though.
Work with me on this one. You know what I'm about to say, right? Bend but don't break. That's what came into play here for the defense. 12 plays were run at them. They only gave up 3 points. In a lot of ways, that's a win for the defense.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. A good balanced attack for that last touchdown drive they had. Now it's time to see if they can do that again.
It really becomes a tale of two play callers, doesn't it? The offensive guy, he's in sync. Everything is working pretty well. For the defense,
what's going on the defensive side?
That's a tough one because he's prepped all week as well, and he can't get a bead on exactly what they're doing right now.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Orlando Scandrick. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
Okay, it's real simple to say from here, but we know that sometimes as a quarterback, you've got to know when to say when and just throw it away. Flushed out to the right, tries to make something out of nothing here, and he winds up floating one downfield that gets intercepted.
And some changes here as the D-line separates some. Following the interception, here's Prescott. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Dez Bryant, the intended receiver, and it's third down.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes there's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
On third down, it's Prescott. And he's got some space here. And he is going to be knocked flat on his back. Oh, a big hit. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. On 1st and 10, Prescott. And this one complete to Witten over the middle. And he is hit pretty hard from the side as he's knocked down. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. Made his first, this now from 42 yards out. And Bailey able to knock it through. And they will take the lead at 13-10. So they kick it through to take the lead. There is a little bit of time left, though, here in the second quarter.
And while they're concerned about not giving up a big return or giving up points themselves going into the half, how good do they feel, though, putting points on the board themselves right near the end of the first half?
And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. Garoppolo, a final shot here before half. Escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And unable to connect on the long pass. It falls down incomplete. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Cowboys out on top. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. Here's Britton Golden now on the return. And now running right through him. So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. So the offense has it 1st and 10. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Garoppolo now, first down throw. Screen play, Johnson. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
Fresh set of downs here.
Double tight, guys, double tight. Gone! Back 99 Philly, gone!
Now a handoff, Johnson. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. They go to Johnson again, and they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
Yeah, once more, strong running. Excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now.
Detroit!
They hand off to their big tight end. And he's going to take this one down to the 25. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue line.
Now they'll throw with Garoppolo. It's complete on the bubble screen. That's Fitzgerald. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
I know one adage that actually held up last year. Age is just a number. And I'm talking about Larry Fitzgerald. 33 years old, led the NFL in receptions with 107.
3rd oldest guy to lead the NFL in receptions. 2 guys did it at age 34, Jerry Rice and MacArthur Lane. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he'll take this one in for the Arizona touchdown. David Johnson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Cardinals are in for 6.
I know the play ends up in the end zone with one person carrying the ball, but how about that big mass of humanity that guided him to that spot?
Yeah, they got there, but I love the dive. Always a fan of the dive. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the 2nd half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see.
The Cards get to him here. He's brought down for a sack. Corey Peters able to swap him from that defensive tackle spot for a loss of 5.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
And he'll be out of bounds right at the 35. 11 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 3rd down.
It seemed like the situation was 2nd and a mile to go for a first down, which screams what? Throw the football. You got to pass it in order to try and pick up that kind of yardage. But in this case, they ran a tendency breaker because the tendency is for defenses to be out there and be set up for a pass. so you break tendency and actually run the football. That changes everything, because if you're able to find a crease, you often have bigger guys working against smaller guys downfield. They picked up excellent yardage there to bring up a third down.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line. And the Cardinals getting set to trot out there now. And they were good last time out with a touchdown drive. This go-around, it's not going to be very easy starting from inside their own 5.
But they shouldn't be daunted by it. You work on this the entire offseason. You work on it in practice. It's called coming out session. Start the ball inside the 5, start on the 5 on the 10. They should be ready to go.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. 2nd down, 9 yards to go.
Detroit! Here we go!
Back near his goal line. Here's Garoppolo. Forced out to his left. And he's out of bounds up past the 15-yard line. They were looking for a cushion from that end zone. He gave it to him. 15 big yards.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
A first down carry here for Johnson. And he'll power his way up near the 25. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
They fake the give. Now Garoppolo looks to throw. Flushed out right. And some space here. He's going to be out of bounds on what's going to wind up being the final play of quarter number 3. Back now here on EA Sports. It's Cardinal football. They're also out in front of the scoreboard as we get set for the 4th. Slot man moves right. There's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. The first down screen pass, good for 5.
The screen was executed and completed, but where's the worry on the play? How many times is a quarterback going to get hit? Because offensive linemen have to do an acting job of making sure it looks like they're whiffing on blocks. But you got to slow them down a little bit, because if you don't, that's a lot of big guys coming at your quarterback in a big, fast way. And boy, he can get hurt.
Now a 10th carry for Johnson. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
He may try and run for this. He'll get a couple of yards on the keeper, but it's going to lead to a 4th down.
How about the fellas with the stars on the side of their helmets rising up on defense? We always hear about the Cowboys' rushing offense. Their rush defense is pretty good as well, I think, because they're so cohesive. Defensive line, linebackers really work well together.
Detroit! Watch it now, Barney!
Here we go with Johnson. 8 yards on the pickup, and that'll be good for an Arizona first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Garoppolo looks to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
My high school coach, John Ford, used to say all the time, if you're in a bad situation, laddie, don't compound it with a bad decision as well. And I think that's what we just saw there. Harassed in the pocket, and he throws into double coverage anyway.
He called you laddie?
He called me laddie, and that was the nicest thing he called me.
Garoppolo again here on 2nd and 10. And this would have been intercepted if he could have gotten the feet in. Instead, it's incomplete. Boy, that really could have turned this one upside down. Well, interceptions have been a problem in this one. If he could have gotten his feet down here, it would have been another.
Would have been a huge one. They've had a great game taking the ball away. Thought they had another one, just unable to get those cleats in bounds.
On third down, that's Johnson. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what was said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3-and-out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that right now.
David Johnson on his way. Touchdown, Cardinals. David Johnson, his second touchdown of the game, his third on the year. And the Cardinals will extend their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Offense still needing 10 yards. Second down. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. Now Prescott. He hits Beasley right side. 30, 20, 10. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Cole Beasley, his second touchdown on the season. And the Cowboys have cut it to within a score. All right, now a big 2-point conversion attempt still to come. They'll let Elliott try and run it in. And he'll get into the end zone as the 2-point conversion is successful. Well, I guess the coach looked at the 2-point cheat sheet, said go for it, get it to a 3-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a 2-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves.
David Johnson now gears up to help lead this offense back on the field. He's already hit pay dirt twice. He's up over 100 yards. He is feeling good.
He's just zipping along today. Everything coming together for him. It's that type of a day that you see a back just kind of have a grin on his face every time his number is called, because he doesn't feel like there are going to be any lost yardage plays, nothing but big-time positive runs.
Making the sideline grin as well. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Defensively, no doubt they need a quick stop. Offensively here, maybe do you put it in the air on second down, or do you go ahead and keep it on the ground, keep that clock moving?
A lot of people would ask that question, partner, because sometimes throwing the ball might actually be the path of least resistance. But in this case, it's a matter of trust. How much do you trust your quarterback? Because you throw the ball and it goes awry, you really don't look smart as a coach.
Yeah, and then you stop that clock.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. The busy night continues for Johnson. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. Some pretty good games all weekend. We may have saved the best for last. This Monday night game has been a dandy.
No, check, Patriots!
Inside the red zone, it's Garoppolo being chased out left. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
There's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep two hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish.
Watch you now, Barney! Watch you now, Barney! Hurry up!
On second down, Johnson. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a first and goal. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So the Cardinals, they've got the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On the ground with a tight end. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. They come out, and he is in for 6. Touchdown, Cardinals. Jimmy Garoppolo with his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Cardinals now adding on to their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And we have seen a lot on the scoreboard here in this quarter. So sometimes you talk to me about tendency breakers on offense. These defenses struggling. Are there tendency breakers on defense?
All defensive coordinators keep something in their hip pocket for these types of situations. What can we do to slow down the onslaught? But the biggest thing is making sure these guys encourage each other, pick themselves up, because right now, it's been a really tough ball game trying to stop these offenses.
Oh, it really has, especially as of late. Here's Prescott. They'll set up the screen to Elliott. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. It'll be a pickup of 8 on the screen, and it sets up a 3rd down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Encroachment, defense.
And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped, but I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
Now Prescott. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively, because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right.
What's tight? Tight is right. What's tight? Tight is right.
So the D-line's going to spread out.
3 down.
Prescott. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. throwing. Prescott. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Prescott now, and his throw's going to be incomplete.
In the early days of the NFL, you could easily blame these drops on maybe some uneven or uncertain lighting in a stadium. Not anymore. The lights are pretty good.
Yeah, they're great here at night, but his second drop, indeed, not a good look. The Cowboys on third down. Not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 10. Prescott to throw. And now another one thrown incomplete.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And some room to work. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. So out now come the Cardinals. Getting down to the end here, they have a 2-score lead. Barely, but it's a 2-score lead, so that probably makes you as a coach feel a lot more comfortable right now, doesn't it, Charles?
It does, but it doesn't mean now you go out and run option or some kind of a wild double reverse or anything like that. But you do know that if anything does go haywire, you're still in control of this game.
I want a double reverse, don't you?
I'm just waiting for that day where we actually see something like that in this situation.
We'll see what happens here. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10.
Detroit! Detroit! All right, here we go.
They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. And now it looks like we've got a Cowboy shaken up down there on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside.
Double tight, guys, double tight. Leopard!
Again, it's Johnson. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college. And how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
Now Garoppolo. Flush to his right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. Garoppolo going to go on 4th down. Lets it go for Nelson. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end. But now this game is over. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
So for the Cardinals, they're into the win column now as they move to 1-2 on the young season. And they'll get another home date next week as the 49ers will come to town. Meanwhile, for Dallas, they will fall to a similar mark at 1-2. And they'll have a chance at redemption next week at home against the Los Angeles Rams. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. It's a win for the Cardinals as we say so long.